Is Bandai bad? Ladies and gentlemen and fellow cardboard addicts, Bandai has just decided to shake up the One Piece trading card game with a rotation system. Which means if you've been relying on your go-to deck since OP1, congratulations, in a couple of years it will be as useful as a Nokia 3310 trying to run Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, rotation is coming, and no, it's not just a rumor whispered in the back alleys of TCG forums, it's real, it's happening in April 2026 and it's got the community split harder than Zorro trying to choose a direction. So let's break this down. What does this rotation actually mean? How will it change gameplay? Will your OP1 cards turn into expensive relics or just glorified bookmarks? And most importantly, does this ruin my grand plan to collect every One Piece card? Strap in, because this one's gonna be spicier than Sanji's Daibel Jumbe! What is block rotation and why should you care? Alright, so what's actually happening? Basically, Bandai is introducing a block system which sounds fancy but really just means they are putting cards into different time capsules and then slowly chucking the old ones into the ocean. Here's how it works. Every few years, the oldest sets in standard format will rotate out and become unplayable in official tournaments. Right now the plan looks like this. Block 1 is the first 4 sets which released between 2022 and 2024, OP01 till OP04. Second block is 2024 till 2026, OP05 to OP08 and so on. So once block 3 begins in 2026, block 1 will be gone from standard play, so no more OP01 till OP04. Your trusty leaders from OP01 deleted, your favorite meta-defying cards gone, faster than buggy running from actual work, no more Doflamingo, except there will be some reprints, we will get there. At first this might seem like a crime against community, but let's take a step back, maybe, just maybe, there's some method to this madness. The meta will get nuked, in a good or a bad way. Right now, One Piece TCG has a problem. Some decks have been around so long they feel like they are permanently glued to the top of the meta. With rotation, those decks will be forced to retire, meaning fresh strategies will emerge. The upside? This means every few years, players will have to relearn the game and adapt, no more copy-pasting the same deck for eternity. The downside? If you just learned how to play a deck, tough luck buddy, time to start over. Say goodbye to your comfort leaders. Let's be honest, some of you have been running the same leaders since OP1 and now they're getting sent to the Shadow Realm. Imagine if Bandai walked into your local tournament, pointed at your deck and said, oh, you've been playing this leader for 2 years, that's adorable, try again. If you main an OP1 to OP4 leader, rotation means you'll either have to adapt or cry. Possibly both, or like I said, maybe reprints, who knows. New players won't have to sell their soul. One good thing about rotation, it stops new players from feeling like they need to buy every single old set just to compete. Right now, if a new player asks what do I need to play One Piece TCG competitively, the answer is a time machine and a lot of disposable income. With rotation, newcomers only need to focus on newer blocks, so yeah, less gatekeeping, more accessible gameplay. Will OP1 to OP4 cards lose all their value? This is the $1,000,000 question which I was thinking about a long time, because I was about to get all the cards ever and then they dropped this bomb and I had to digest this for a few days and think about it. Maybe it's not worth anymore. Well, not sure. Will your beloved OP1 to OP4 cards turn into dusty relics, or will they age like fine wine? You never know, dude. So that's why maybe I just wait for some of the super high value OP1 cards, but it could backfire as well, because some cards will drop like a rock. Once rotation happens, some meta-defying staples will become worthless overnight, like especially the alternate arts. People spend a lot of money and had 4 of those and now they are not playable anymore. I think if those flood the market, but yeah, also depending on their condition as well. Cards that were only good for competitive play, get ready to see them in the bargain bin. Staples that everyone uses will tank in price faster than Luffy falling asleep after eating, so if you're holding piles of OP 1 liters hoping to retire off them, I've got bad news, it's time to offload them before they go the way of Beanie Babies. But you actually don't know, some of those cards could go really high, so maybe actually don't sell and just keep those, but don't listen to me. I'm not sure myself if I should buy now or wait till they rotate out, nobody knows. But some cards will become insanely expensive. However, if history has taught us anything, some cards will skyrocket in value. Collectors don't care about rotation. If a card looks cool, it's from an older set or has a limited print, it'd still be worth a fortune. Alternate art leaders, still expensive. Manga shanks, might as well start selling organs now. And actually, if I think about, manga cards are not included in this block system, so those will most likely still be expensive. It just depends on their playability, maybe, I'm not sure. Anything rare and nostalgic, you're looking at big bucks in the future. If Bandai reprints some of these cards, that might change things, but right now all the rare cards are only going to get harder to find. What does this mean for my collection? As someone trying to collect every One Piece card, this rotation is both a blessing and a curse. Blessing, prices on some cards might drop, making it easier to fill in gaps. Curse, rare and nostalgic cards will only get harder to find. I fully expect some dude in 2030 to try selling a PSA 10 manga shanks for the price of a small car. Honestly, it's like trying to complete a Pokédex, but every few years they just delete half the Pokemon and make you start over. My final thoughts. So is this the end of One Piece TCG as we know it? No, but it is a massive change that forces players to adapt, rethink strategies and spend even more money on cards. If you're a competitive player, this is gonna hurt, but it keeps the game fresh. If you're a casual player, you can still play all the formats, so no real loss. If you're a collector like me, it's a double-edged sword. Some cards will be cheaper, but rare ones will become even more expensive. At the end of the day, One Piece TCG isn't going anywhere, but your wallet, yeah, that's things in real danger. So let's brace for impact and get ready for a new era of One Piece TCG. And if you're still coping with the loss of your OP1 leaders, just remember at least you are not Zoro trying to find his way through this mess. And actually I wouldn't worry so much because I'm pretty sure they will reprint a lot of these leaders, and for example like Blue Nami, I'm not sure, I can't imagine that this way of playing will just be removed from the game. I'm pretty sure there will be coming new reprints and new starter decks that will be that will make the card playable again, and also you can play the older version if you got the new one or if it's legal. So don't worry about it too much. Keep those. Set rotation is also nothing new. It's also known from other games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. I played also Hearthstone, where you need to rotate cards out at some point to make new strategies possible, to make the power creep not feel that hard, because you have a lot of those when you just play a 4 mana card and you get a 4/4 basic creature or something, and after a few years a game has developed, you just get a for 4 mana a 8/8 can attack in the same turn and has a effect on board when entering the battlefield or whatever, you know what I mean, and that's helping that as well. And I'm kind of sure that it's necessary to make the set rotation, but just from a collecting standpoint it's kind of sad when you know the cards are kind of useless, but yeah, not for the collectors. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button or don't, I'm not your captain, but if you do, I'll keep bringing you more TCG chaos news and terrible financial decisions. Peace!